Hey, welcome back, class. Welcome back to another distance learning lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about algebraic expressions and specifically how to translate an algebraic expression. So what I mean by translate is, think about it. Some of you speak two languages. You speak English and you speak Spanish. And if someone was to say something to you in English, in your mind, you could translate that and you could think about it in Spanish. Or you could go vice versa. Someone could say something to you in Spanish, and then you can translate that into English. Well, math is the same type of thing. Math is actually a language. I want you to think of it as a language. And in math, we need to be able to go from written words, and we need to be able to translate written words that are like in a word problem. We need to translate that into mathematical symbols, variables, and numbers. So that's what our lesson is today. So we're going to be practicing how to translate from written words into algebraic expressions. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and you should have the notes that go with this lesson. So you should have those in front of you. And here we go. Okay, so our lesson for today, as I said, our objective is to be able to translate English words, phrases, and sentences into mathematical symbols, expressions, and equations. Okay. So to start, I've given you 6 phrases. These are written in English. There are some numbers, but these are written in words primarily, and I want you to translate them into math expressions. So for example, I'll do the first one with you, and then I want you to try to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. So on this first one, it says 5 decreased by a number x. So that would look, if we were to translate that, we would translate that by writing 5 minus x. So that would be the translated expression. So take a moment and try to translate numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In fact, you can pause the video if you'd like. I'll give you a little bit of time. So go ahead and pause, and then when you're ready, you can restart the video. Okay, so I'm going to give you those answers here in just a moment, and then we're going to get into the lesson. So this was just to see kind of a test for yourself, a little pre-test to see if you know how to do translating. Okay, so the first one I already gave to you, 5 minus x. Okay, number 2, the sum of 5 and x. The word sum, that means has something to do with adding. So this one would be 5 plus x. Number 3, 5 is more than x. We're going to talk about this combination of words. We'll get into that, but this answer is 5 is greater than x. So when we say 5 is more than x, we're saying 5 is greater than x. Number 4, 6 added to the product of 11 and m. That would look like this, 11m, 11 times m plus 6. Number 5, 5 times the sum of y and 4. The answer would be 5 parentheses y plus 4. And then number 6, 6 less than twice a number x. 6 less than twice a number x. And that would look like this, 2x minus 6. Okay, so you might be thinking, how in the world did you do 4, 5, and 6? You might have gotten 1, 2, and 3. So here we go. Let's get into our lesson. So the first thing that we're going to do before we start learning how to actually translate is we need to brainstorm words that are words that mean our 4 major operations in math. So we have plus, minus, times, and divide. So for example, I'll do the first row. So we have add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So what I'd like you to do, once again, I'd like you to pause the video, and then I'd like you to try to fill in as many words that you can in this add column. So other words that mean add that you might see in a word problem. And then go ahead and fill in as many words as you can that mean subtract, and as many words as you can that mean multiply, and as many words that you can remember. Remember, you're brainstorming, so as many words as you can remember for divide. So go ahead and pause the video and fill in what you can. This is, again, kind of a little self-check for yourself. So go ahead and pause. Okay, now you're back. Let's go ahead and fill in these. So anything that you don't have on your list, you can go ahead and add to the list. And there might be some words on your list that I don't have included here. So that's great. So here we go. We'll go through a few of these. So plus, another word is increased by. The word sum has something to do with adding. Total, and then the word more than. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next column. We've got subtract, minus, decreased by. So over here we had increased by. Now we have decreased by. We have diminished by. We have difference. And then we have the word less. And then in the box, the reason I have a box around these are kind of special. I have less than, and I have subtracted from, and I will explain why these are in their special own little red boxes, because these are special. So they get a special little red box. Okay, multiply. We've got times, product, the word of. So you'll see the word of, for example, a word problem that might say you're shopping and you go to buy some clothes, and it might say the sale price is 25% of the original price. So in that sense, you would want to multiply of the original price. So you'd multiply 25% times the original price. Okay. Twice, so times two. Twice means times two. If you go to Hometown Buffet with your family and you go back to the dessert bar twice, that means you've gone 2 times, right? 2 times. And then we have double. That's another times 2 phrase. If you double something, you're multiplying by 2. Okay, divide. We have quotient. We have the word factor. We have the word divisible. And we have the word simplify. Okay, so all of these have something to do with division. All right, so this is a good brainstorm list. These are words that you're going to want to have memorized. You're going to want to know when we say the word simplify, that means we're really talking something to do with division. When we say the word product, we're talking about multiply. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. Okay, so when you translate, the main rule is you want to write it as you read it. You want to write it as you read it. Okay, so we read from left to right. We read from left to right. That's how we read a book. So when you read a phrase, you're reading it from left to right. So when we translate it, we want to write the expression in the order you see it. Okay, so what do I mean? So let me give you a couple examples here. Okay, so in this example, 8 increased by X. 8 increased by X. Okay, so I see the 8 came first, and then I see the X, and the word increase by, this combination, this means to add. So when I translate, I want to translate from left to right. So my answer would be 8 plus X. So normally, most of the time, there's a few exceptions, but most of the time you're going to want to, if this number came first, then you want to translate it with that number first here. So 8 plus X, 8 increased by X. Let's try another one. A number minus 4. Well, we don't know the number, so we can use a variable. So our variable will come first and then minus 4. So for example, that would be X minus 4, or we could use the variable in for a number. Okay, so we're translating from left to right. Okay, so that's the general rule. Write it as you read it. Write it as you read it. Okay. All right, so let's try a few here. So now I just gave you one general rule. So let's see if you can do 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own. Go ahead and pause the video. When you do this, go ahead and put it in the your guess column, and then wait, don't put the answer over in the correct answer, put it in the your guess. So I want you to put your guess, and then we'll check it, and you'll put the correct answer in the correct answer column. Okay, so take a moment to do 7, 8, and 9. Okay. All right, so I'll do the first one with you, 5 plus x. That's pretty easy. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to move over to the correct answer. So you're just sliding over one column, and I'm going to give you the correct answers. You go ahead and check, see if you did them right. So 5 plus x, 5 plus x, right? So I'm writing it the way I read it, 5 plus x. Okay, let's try this next one. Add 5 and x. Now we know it's an add problem, but I don't want to put the plus sign over on this side. I want to just make sure I keep these in order. So the 5 came first. So over here in my answer, I want the 5 to be first. It's still an add problem, so we put the plus symbol, the add symbol in the middle. But the 5 came first, so we're listing the 5 first. Okay, here we go. The sum of 5 and x. Okay, so write it as you read it. So the sum, we know we're adding, and then this 5 came first, so it again would be 5 plus x. Okay, and then number 10, 5 increased by x, 5 increased by x, that would be 5 plus x. Okay, so those four all have the same exact answer, but you can see they're all written differently. This uses the word plus, this is using the word add, this one's using the word sum, this is using the word increased by. So these all four have the same answer, but all are written differently. Okay, now number 11 is a little tricky. If you look back at our brainstorm list, go and look and see the words more than, what column do they fall under? So go ahead and check. That's right, they follow under the add or the plus column, okay? So you would think that we would just follow this same strategy. This came first, plus x, but that actually would be incorrect. So I'm gonna teach you a new rule, okay? So I'm gonna move on to a new rule. Okay, so these are the specials. I told you that there were a few special ones. Those are the ones in the boxes. Okay, so when you see the words more than and less than, more than and less than, when you see those in combination, when you see these combo words together, you have to move the first number or variable. So whatever was your first number or variable, you have to move that to the back of the expression. You have to reverse the order of the values. Okay, what do I mean? All right, so I'm going to give you an example here. So you have to, if you see this combination, more than or less than, then you're going to reverse the order. Okay, so in this example here, 8 more than x, 8 more than x, so we're going to reverse the order. I'm going to take this 8, and so there's my more than phrase, that's my combo words. I'm going to take that 8, I'm going to move it to the back. We still know it's a adding, right? It's a plus, but this time we're going to move to the 8 to the back. We're going to reverse the order. So it'd be x plus 8. So when you see the words more than, then you know that you have to reverse the order. Okay, so let's try another one. Here's the words less than. When you see the combination of less than, I put them in brackets, then you're going to take that first value, it happens to be a 4, and you move it to the back. And less than is a subtraction. So this would be x minus, whoops, it should be minus 4. That's a little typo, not 5. This was a 4 over here, so make sure you make a correction, x minus 4. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you see these specials, you're going to reverse the order. Okay, so now let's try number 11. 5 more than x. So there's our more than. That tells us the 5 is going to go to the back of the expression. So we're going to start with the x plus 5. Okay. All right, now number 12 is even trickier. What is the difference in the way number 12 is written compared to the way number 11 is written? There's one word difference. That's correct. It's this word is. So when you see is more than, when you see that combination, Now it means something even different. So is more than, it's saying the amount 5 is more than this amount. And how do we say something's more than or something is greater? We would write it like this. 5 is greater than x. Okay, and so that's why I gave this one a red special box and this one a blue special box, because they do not follow the pattern. Most of the time you'll see this pattern, but these did not follow the pattern. Okay, all right. All right, so now go ahead and see if you can figure out 13 through 19 and see if you, now that you've learned a couple of different rules, go ahead and do the your guess. So go ahead and put it in the your guess and I'll give you answers in just a moment. Okay, so go ahead and pause while you're doing that. Pause the video. And let's go ahead and start my, 1 second here. I need to close the window really fast, so I'll be right back. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so you were supposed to do the your guess. So let's go ahead and see how you did. Okay. All right, so on this first one, there's nothing fancy about this first one. We want to write the answer, write the expression. We want to write it the way we read it. So I see that the 5 came first. This is a minus, so I want 5 minus x. Okay, number 14, 5 less x. It doesn't have the word than in it. It's just 5 less x. So that would be 5 minus x. Okay, number 15, the difference of 5 and x. The difference of 5 and x. And that's a subtraction problem. What came first? The 5 followed by the x. So 5 minus x. Number 16, 5 decreased by x. 5 decreased by x. So that would be 5 minus x. Now, once again, look at that. 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all written very differently. This is using the word minus, less, difference, decreased by, but they all have the same mathematical expression. Okay? All right, now 17 is in a red box. So what is different about number 17? It has the word, the combination, the combo words, less than. Less than. So that means that 5 is going to go to the back, and that's going to be x minus 5. It's still a subtraction, but the 5, we reverse the order. Instead of the 5, we're going to reverse the order. And that's really important because, for example, if the number x, let's say the number x was 2, if I did 5 minus 2 up here, that would be the answer 3. But if x is 2 and I do 2 minus 5, well, now that's negative 3. Those aren't the same answer. Okay, number 18, 5 subtracted from x. So we're taking it away from. So this one is going to be like 17. We've got a combo words, and that tells us the 5 is going to go to the back, and this would be x minus 5. And then number 19, 5 is less than x. Okay, so what's different between 19 and 17? Okay, correct, it's this word is. So when we see this 3-word combo, that means something even different. 5 is less than x would be 5 is less than x. 5 is less than x. Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and pause right here, and then we will do VIP words in a part 2 video. So I'm going to stop this video and we'll do VIP words in a part 2 video. Okay, so you'll just start video number 2 when you're ready. And let me go ahead and pause. Okay, so I'll see you later. I'll be back for video number 2.